Hi, this is LK, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to tackle a very difficult subject tonight. The subject is about racial incidents that happen on the subway, and unfortunately, to add to these rashes, two controversial action by police on two different situations: one fair beating and one a brawl on the subway platform, J Street. Let's get to the controversial one, more controversial one first. The brawl at J Street. Now, this station had a shooting a while back, so I don't remember if anybody got hurt, but it was mass panic. So apparently there was extra police at that station, and during the school hours, a brawl broke out. There's a question where one of the people getting hit by a police officer was part of this brawl or not, because there's some questions about it. As a result, there is now a lawsuit filed against both the officer and the NYPD. I find it kind of strange that the victim did not sue the individuals responsible for this fight, because I think they should own it and take responsibility. Because if they didn't start this fight, this individual wouldn't have gotten hurt, wouldn't have gotten arrested, and he's now suffering from injuries from the results from the violent arrest. And then a second incident was an individual was approached police saying that someone was carrying a gun. The individual managed to jump the fare, get on a train. Not sure how they got to him, but eventually when they did, even though he had his hands up, they still took him down. Being in the city there and around the country, gun violence is like an epidemic right now. Nobody wants to take chances with guns. Unfortunately, despite the fact that a police person came upon him with full force, they had not found the gun. But they still charged him with fair beating, which is a subject of another problem. Recently, the governor added about 1,000 police officers, some say 500, but it's 1,000, from different parts of the NTA and the NYPD, patrolling the system. Right now, they're in odds with the activists, the community. Apparently, they're saying they're targeting minorities. Well, basically, he's supposed to be targeting everybody who's jumping the fare, whether they're African American, white, Asian, Hispanic. They're all supposed to be, if they get caught, get a summons or get arrested, depending if what the situation is. If you got caught doing something else when you jumped the fare, yes, you're going to jail. Otherwise, he's just supposed to give you a summons and let you keep going. Basically, the district attorneys from the Manhattan office, and I think the others, don't want to prosecute these cases with fair beating. So, even though there is arrest, I don't think the prosecutor is going to pursue the fair beating charge. That's what they claim. Also, the number that's been shown how much money the agency is losing to fair beating. Somebody asked me, about the numbers, if I was high on something. Well, I'm not the one make up these numbers. The agency make up the numbers, and they report it to the news media. So you gotta understand, this is an agency that has a history of coming up with creative accounting with the numbers. So, if you feel that somebody's high on something, you have to ask management, because apparently since they're not getting tested for drugs or alcohol. They could be drunk as a skunk and still come out with numbers. So that's what I had to tell you about that. Just look at the news organizations and on YouTube, they'll have the numbers. So this is not numbers I came up with. This is the agency's numbers. They're the ones who keep claiming they're losing a lot of money. And this is what's sparking the problem. Fare beating problem. Also, assaults on both passengers and transit employees is gone dramatically up. If you need any more verification, just look at the last couple of years. You had violent assaults on passengers and employees. Most memorable was the white homeless man who was walking around with a box of diapers in his cart, upset he didn't get any donation. So he took a metal rod and smacked a white male passenger in the face, causing him severe injuries. And of course, he spent his birthday in the hospital. He was arrested. You had an African American male, for whatever reason, attacked a homeless woman on the subway. He got up on one of the those poles to hang on and gave this woman 6 karate chops in the face. She's African American, by the way, the homeless woman that was assaulted. You had a conductor from the 4 line at 149th Street waiting for an assignment on a bench. All of a sudden, some mentally ill, disturbed person, I think Hispanic, white, comes up and stabs him with a knife. Another time, you had on the 4 line at 125th Street, passenger punched the conductor in the face for no reason. Luckily, the conductor was able to fight back and punch him back. Plus, you had 2 employees, another conductor, and a bus operator sprayed or had urine thrown in their faces. Most of these people got caught. And of course, the granddaddy in them all, the individual who keeps pulling subway cords, he got himself in trouble again. And unfortunately, picked the wrong time to harass people, and he ended up pushing a woman onto the side of the train head first. Now, before he did that to her, there were 2 African American males he was also harassing. He also pushed them, but he was yelling, "What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it?" And before they had a chance to react, he comes to the lady and pushes her into the train. On the same day, there was another incident, again involving a passenger getting pushed into the side of a train at 179th Street. So, he was injured too. Now, the victim of the 179th Street incident, he was able to identify his attacker because his dumbbell got videotaped while this was going on. That's how we know about the woman getting pushed into the side of the train and the passenger from 179th Street. Same person. It has gotten out of hand. I mean, also we understand the community is not exactly, how I put this, not exactly thrilled about the police. Well, in a way we can understand, being a minority myself, and Hispanic and part African American, I get it. But the powers that be are the ones that don't get it. After all, it is your Governor Cuomo who put the police in. He wants the fair being stopped. He also wants that money used to also make the improvements in the system. That signal system needs to be upgraded, and it's going to cost a lot of money. The system we now have outside the L train and the 7 train are so antiquated, they should be collecting Social Security right now. And if you think I'm being funny, no. This is the same signal systems that cause all these horrible crashes, especially the 14th Street derailment, the Windward Bridge disaster. This agency has been a financial disaster 52 years in the making. And the problem is, as long as this agency is out of control. Oh no, we're not talking about the current president, Andy Baffert, because he's not the problem. This is a problem he inherited when he got in. He's trying to fix it. But it's going to take a long time to straighten this out. Race relationships is not going to be fixed overnight. That's something that has to be done slowly. And without trust, it's just going to continue. But white passengers do jump the turnstiles too. It's not like, just African Americans and Latinos and other minorities. They jump too. Because a lot of areas where there's not a lot of minorities, well, guess who the minority of the fairbeers are? Right, white people. And I don't make these numbers up. They do. So if somebody's snipping something funny, it ain't me. I mean, technically speaking, I'm not working for these clowns anymore. I mean, I could smoke a joint, but I hadn't done it. No, they don't want to. I mean, I don't mind if I have oil eventually, but how should I put this? This is just one crazy situation after another. It's just poor management, poor relationships, poor everything. This is why you have the situation you have now. And if you don't get the parties together to straighten this out, you're just going to continue to have these problems over and over again. So this is Al Can saying so long for now, and don't forget to stop.